plays, like the starting plays, am I following the center? We're missing time right now.
Yeah, either just keep it on the blue line or just run out the edge and stay with it.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to everyone listening in on Richmond 6.1 FM and watching it all on the live stream. Will take on the Buffalo State Bengals.
No, I didn't.
Boston right now. Set at a 500 on the season. Looking to hopefully shut down the Bengals who have really come out hot here. Also, from Potsdam, they split last weekend taking a big match against
Friday and last Saturday is going to be the one also in the backstop here for the Bears this evening. We'll see if she'll be able to keep that momentum going and flowing here against, like you mentioned, a Bengals team that really can put the puck in the net often in the contest.
Yeah, Coach Cook was talking about how their freshman class has really come on this year, and they're very excited about what the potential is, albeit the Bears being concerned about that uptick in the Buff State program.
As we mentioned, it is the Teddy Bear Toss night. Nice little crowd here in store for that one. You typically, what happens is when the Bears score the first goal, usually people throw the stuffed animals onto the ice for a good cause, or if they don't score in the first period, hopefully that's not the case here tonight, I believe they would be throwing them during the first intermission before the Zamboni comes on the ice.
All sorts of rules. I'm not sure how that works, but we see lots of promotional opportunities for both the men's and women's programs this year. We're going to have a special day for the men here on the 25th, where it's going to have elementary or school. It's going to be an 11 a.m. game on the 25th.
Yes, it will be an 11 a.m. start, and we'll speak to that as we go along here tonight in the game. However, right now we're just going to take a brief pause as both teams come out to the respective blue lines, and we will have the playing of the Canadian and the American national anthem.
At this time, we ask that you all rise for the playing of the Canadian and American
And before we start this first period of play, let's go over the starting goaltenders for both of these squads. John, take it away.
Well, we're going to have Magali Perrant, probably the number one goaltender here for this program. She's played well over the last number of years. As a matter of fact, she's one of the captains here this year. She will be at the other end of the rink will be Amelia Knott, the freshman from North Adelaide, Australia, the hotbed of hockey.
Still crazy to hear that before the game started from Coach Cook that Buffalo State right now is riding a hot goaltender from down under, and right now it's paying dividends for them.
Well, we'll see what happens here tonight, but obviously with their record, she's been backstopping them. If in fact she's been in the net for all of those games, but the freshman she was a veteran of Lovell Academy, and so we'll see how that plays out. But the starting lineup for the Bears, Marandola will be centering Castro, and Kane on the back end will be Victoria Prue and Jessica Bullock. Countering Buff State will be Sage Running Rabbit at center with Sydney Radecki and Taylor Masterson on the front lines. Venetrano will be on the back end with JoJo Running Rabbit.
And as we start here, if you're watching on PotsdamBears.com, you will see the Buffalo State Bengals in the black uniforms on the, I believe it's the right side of the screen. I forget that they changed the camera. I still got to get used to that here. And for the SUNY Potsdam Bears, they're on the left side in their traditional gray uniforms with maroon and white and black trim. So down in the corner, starting off with the puck, it's going to be Jalen Castro as she's pinned along the end boards. Trying to come in for support there was her partner, Kane, and she's going to get her pocket picked for her troubles. Kicking this one forward, getting over the blue line, that's going to be number 11, Sydney Radecki. Her shot towards the net, and Perrant makes the first stop of the game.
Pretty good shot there. She was being pressured on the back, good back pressure by the Bears, able to get a quick wrist shot away, forcing Perrant to make that left pad save. She had to get that leg out there to kick that way, but she was able to hold on for the rebound as well.
Puck one in the defensive zone by the Bears as this one is fired around hard by Pro, and that does come out into the neutral zone in front of the Bears, or in front of the Bengals bench. We got technically Tigers and Bears. I mean, we're just missing the Lions, and we'll be, in Oz at this point.
In Ozland.
Chipping this one past the defense that time was Clifford, and she will try to track this one down. She has support in Gamberg, and that's taken away from her at the very last second. Coming back right to left. Here's a shot towards the net that hits a skate as it was taken by Vanessa Willick.
Bears good numbers on the back check there, showing their responsibility and understanding of their positioning here. Not going to give up too much on the forecheck when it's not necessary, and they had good numbers there. That was about 1 against 4 coming in, and the Bears are going to win that face-off. Try to go the wide side for the breakout, but too much on it.
And that one was picked up by Recollect Nobeni on Quits, who has thrown it down below the goal mouth of Perrant. Thrown back into the corner, or the half wall by Purdy, and she advances the puck forward there, and that's going to go down the ice. No icing, though. It got past center ice, and changing up here is going to be Sophia Lease. And she's already in the play. Little disruption there. Here's a shot towards the net, and again, good defensive play off a shin by a Bengals player.
Knott has not been able to make a save just yet. Perrant has seen a couple of pucks come her way, so we haven't seen the Buffalo State Bengal goaltender in action just yet.
Corralling this puck is going to be Rathburn as she will take it herself back to center ice, but she's going to be stopped right at the red line, knocked down her knees, but then the puck squirts free, goes down back into the Bengals defensive zone. First one going after it is Konishnik. Now it's Visco. She gets away from her check, swings away back below the cage. Now in front of the net, that one comes out on the top of the crease. Konishnik could not connect.
Good numbers on the defensive side of things in front of that net. just able to lift the puck, the stick of Konishnik there to prevent that one-timer.
Buffalo State trying to break out of their own zone. That one goes off the boards in front of the scorer's table. And now the Bears will just throw this back into the face-off circle at center ice. Going left to right as Kane now will just chip it down in front. And loose puck knocked away at the very last second as the Bears could have had an opportunity right inside the hash marks.
Good shot on goal from the right-hand side, kicked away by Perron. Out of trouble, she looked sharp in the early going.
Almost 4 minutes has elapsed here in the opening period. We are still scoreless. 0-0 between Buffalo State and SUNY Potsdam. As right now, this one will be dumped back in on the chase by Murray, and she will go off for a well-deserved breather to the Bengals bench. Loose puck picked up here by Buffalo State in the offensive zone. That one taken away at the last second as looking back door was number 16, Taylor Masterson.
Real good play over there on the defensive side of things for Buff State. That was number 20, Nebenequit, who was able to ride off the talented Potsdam forward, number 25, and that is Paradis.
In front of the Bears bench. Here's a slap shot that gets deflected. Going towards the net. Nice defensive sacrifice there by Whiteside as she will go back off to the bench. And with the puck now is Gamberg. However, that one knocked off her stick very quickly, and she'll have to regroup here with Rathburn.
Got to be careful on those skates in the high slot area. Redirect oftentimes can catch the goaltender by surprise when it changes direction.
Looks like that could have been a possible trip there towards Isabel Boyd on the Bengals. However, the referees say play on here as both teams are up in the Zamboni entrance. It came out in front of the net and is picked up cleanly here. Going back the other way is Purdy. She has time and space as she tries to get away from the defense. Finally, she's strung up on the boards and loses the rubber. Quickly trying to come back right to left are the Bengals. However, that one's tipped in the passing lane. Nicely done on the intercept by Rathburn. Rathburn, shot towards the net. That one hits the stomach of Knott, and she will quickly pounce on it for a face-off.
Well, that's the first good test that she has seen here tonight, and she was up for the task there, making sure that she got her skate up against the short side. It was a short side shot, and a good save and a good control of the rebound.
Off the face-off, the Bengals will shoot this one around to the bottom left-hand corner right off the edge of the bench, and they actually lost the puck. This one is chipped back down on net. Perron will just take a little poke check with it, and now that's going to go all the way down here. This should be icing against the Bears as Lease let that one go.
13:54 to go here. Really not much to report in this very early going. A couple of good shots Perron had to be on her game for, and one good shot there recently the Bears got on that short side. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Purdy who got that shot away on the left-hand side.
Face off to the left of Perron. It should be Running Rabbit as well as Konishnik. Actually, Konishnik is going to get tossed out of the face-off circle. Or is she? No, she's going to come back in here, says the official, as Visco was going to try to tag up for her there. And then Konishnik wins the face-off. There's Elise trying to get away from the back checker, Cadez, and it looks like there's going to be a holding here. It will go against Elise.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think she just got tangled up there. It's kind of an odd position to be called on the hold. She had her arm up high on the neck. You could, illegal use of the hands or something, but it was really kind of unfortunate. She turned into her and just got tangled up there. But nonetheless, a penalty here for the Bears.
It did look like she kind of had a headlock on Running Rabbit there, but at the same time, she was putting her head underneath the arm of Lise, so there's really nothing that she can do as she's battling for the puck. As down low with this one in the bottom left-hand corner is going to be Kemp. Losing the stick there was Clifford. Here's a shot in front of the net, a floater. However, it misses the left side of the net.
Rebound high, he came out into the golden area there just below the hash marks on the right-hand side. If you're looking at it, it was a juicy rebound, but the Bears were able to clear.
Will this be kept alive at the blue line? It is. Nicely done by defenseman. I believe, yes, that's number 5. That's Madison Malone. Well, it says on here forward, however, she's playing defense right now. Sophomore from Wheatfield, New York, who previously played for SUNY Canton right down the road.
Yeah, that's. I think that was number 9, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Back there, but they're getting a change now as Buff State got some fresh legs out there. Bears are going to go with who they had on the penalty kill.
And that's Edwards, who will slap that all the way down the ice, and she will be able to let a few, one of the players go to the bench. Now out there is Marissa Whiteside, the freshman forward, as she will put a little pressure on here in the defensive zone. 42 seconds remaining in that holding call to Lease. Once more, the puck is thrown back into the neutral zone, and that will be a delayed offsides. As on the ground here in front of the Bears bench was Dakota Carlson, number 28, who's actually wearing 26 in black and orange this evening.
There's good positioning in the neutral zone there, allowing the defense to stay up on the blue line and force that turnover. 12-12 to go here in the first period. Still no score. 33 seconds to go in the advantage for Buff State.
And as we mentioned, a very good crowd here, decently sized for the Teddy Bear toss. They await that first goal for the Bears here in the game. Also, I think I saw Maxie Bear running around here somewhere, so that's nice to see here for the crowd as well. Still a short power play. A nice pad save by Perrault. She makes one off the right side and then the left side. Then it's cleared out by the Bears with 6 seconds remaining on the power play.
Good positioning and good concentration there. As you called it, partner, a good initial save, but she was in position to catch that rebound attempt as well.
So the Bengals will go 0 for 1 here on their power play chances so far. The puck is loose in the crease, however, it is trickling away from it into the corner of the Zamboni. With the puck, it's Castro. However, she could not control that one. It was hopping around off her blade. She'll have to back check and regroup in her own zone here in the bottom left-hand corner.
That was good stick work by Nebenequit there on that rush by the Bears. She was able to stop it on the blue line, but good quick stick work.
That one takes a funny bounce back towards the center lane of the ice. Deking out the defender there. Nicely done was Marandula. However, again, just a little bit of difficulty controlling the puck so far for both teams. That puck is really jumping around like a jumping bean right now off the ice.
Got to get those hands to control that stuff. It's not following very flat on that. Sometimes the pass attempt, you get your stick too far out in front of you, it causes the puck to go up in the air. So got to get the puck, make a little bit better passes.
Pass west to east was taken away here by Malone as her team tries to get almost a full sail line change here while she's in the offensive zone. Puck comes free here and will be slapped back towards the blue line of the Bears, and that is thrown in as the offside was waved off. It was close, however, Buffalo State stays on.
Buff with a good aggressive pinch from the blue line there, aggressive on the forecheck. Another pinch kept that puck in. Bears finally looking for a wide side pass, but nobody home.
As we have reached the halfway point of the first 20 minutes of play, still scoreless here between Buffalo State and SUNY Potsdam here on Teddy Bear Toss tonight. And this is the first game of our weekend doubleheader for women's hockey. Again, we will give you more details as we go along here. That shot hits a stick, goes up into the mesh, out of play.
Good quick shot from the slot area. by the Potsdam player, number 18, Bullock. But that was deflected out of play. And as you said, we're going to be here again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock as we welcome the newest member of the Suniac League, William Smith.
Absolutely, who I believe, according to my out-of-town scoreboard, should be, yes, at Plattsburgh State this evening. We will have updated scores for you between the first and second periods. As SUNY Potsdam now looks to try to go back on offense. It's been a hot minute since they've really had an opportunity here against the Bengals. That one on target, almost towards the left side post, but that went right into the waiting trapper of Amelia Knott.
That was a good, quick wrist shot by Victoria Prue here from the right point. She was able to get that by the forechecker and right on net, and so Knott was in the position to make the save.
Konishnik loses the tie-up here off the draw, and she's going to wait to try to get the open pass in the slot area. That one is deflected away off the stick of Willick. As now the Bengals try to bring it back the other way, right to left. This is Running Rabbit. That's going to be so weird to say the rest of the whole game. Running Rabbit, Running Rabbit.
Yeah, and I think they're sisters. There's two.
I believe so, yes.
I'm going to go with sisters.
Yeah, Sirianna and Sage Running Rabbit,
yeah.
Both from Siksika, Alberta. That one chipped off the end boards, and trying to throw it back the other way was Lease. However, it did hit the linesman off the skate, and he's going to take another one for his trouble. He's got to be black and blue tomorrow morning, that's for sure. As the puck picked up here, and the breakout starts for Buffalo State. Flipped up in the air, that goes off the glove of Whiteside. Her puck pass goes all the way down the ice, and it's an icing. They'll have a face-off to the left.
Just looking here, Rathburn had the opportunity to take a little bit more time on that pass. You can see the Coach Cook was speaking with her, and she was nodding her head as she skates into position here on the left-hand side of Magali Perron.
Also have to remind ourselves here, Coach Cook in her third season with the Bears program, as we said, right now sitting at a 500 start after 4 games so far in this season, very early season of the 25-26 campaign. And for Buffalo State, it's Rachel Gramp and assistant coach Christian Forstner. Here's a chance on a breakaway possible is Castro. She has to go up into the corner, the right corner, and chip it towards the net. However, it's taken away, and with speed coming back like a flash was Vetniano.
She had help there. Kane was going towards the net. I don't know if she saw the fact that there was a good opportunity for the pass, but Kane was in a position had she been able to make that pass earlier.
7 minutes remaining here in the first period, and here's a turnover behind the net. Can SUNY Potsdam make magic happen? Shot in the pads of Knott, and then it goes right over to the half hole on the far side.
That was Edwards who had the stick on the ice, was able to get that puck, get the one-timer, and force that good save by Amelia Knott.
Mara Edwards, a freshman defender here from Kingston, Ontario for SUNY Potsdam, jumping up in the play there, and she had definitely some daylight there. Here's another shot. Ooh, it hit the crossbar. I thought it went underneath. It looked like it tickled the twine. However, coming back the other way is Buffalo State as the official waved it off. Picking this loose puck up is going to be Braun. And she tries to give it back to her partner, and she does successfully. That's Malone. However, Malone will lose that one to Ryan Rathburn. Nicely done. Chipped along. Taking a bump there on the sideboards was Paradis, but it was effective enough to get the puck back out to center ice. that could be a too many players on the ice. And I do think that they are going to call that here against SUNY Potsdam. That was very, very close.
Well, it's probably a good call. I could not get a good angle on it. You saw it better than I did. But that's whenever the puck is getting close to the bench on that change, you take the chance of having it hit a skate, and that's unfortunate, but it happens.
I can understand the head officials thought the bench door was still open and they were still trying to get at least one of the players off the ice there. So you really can't say it was a wrong call on that.
If it doesn't hit a player, then it's a no call.
It was touched. It was touched down there by Knishnik as she came off the bench. In any event, that gives the Bengals their second power play opportunity here in the game, as right now having a hard time holding on to that puck behind the net was Cadence Kemp, a sophomore from Niagara Falls, Ontario. With it now is going to be on the half wall, now put up to the blue line. The defense, it's Kemp again. That one fanned on as she passed it to Cadiz. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, knocking down Radecki for the Potsdam Bears, and that one is fired all the way down the ice by Konishnik, and she will go off for the breather.
Yeah, losing the edge. The Buff player Kemp lost her feet there on the blue line, so the Bears were able to get control of the puck and get it down the ice. 55
seconds remaining here in the power play opportunity for the Bengals. 4 minutes and 33 seconds remaining on the scoreboard. We're still knotted up at 0-0. Battling along with it now, that was Carlson losing it to Clifford. And now down low, taking on two players, is Edwards to get that puck away and clear it safely down to the other end. Nicely done. Ooh, this could spell disaster here as Kane tries to put it over, streaking in for a pass. That would have been Paradis, however, it was too far behind her. Not lucky on that attempt that she didn't give that away and the puck wasn't going a little bit faster around the net. The Bears might have had an empty net goal.
Didn't get good control of it there to make a good solid play, but nonetheless the Bears were able to get some good zone time and kill off the balance of that penalty.
Buffalo State now at 0 for 2 on the player advantage here. This one chipped off the boards, picked up here, nicely done by Mirandola, and she'll try to forward the puck along on the ground there, basically being horse hockeyed. That's going to be Purdy. Purdy finally able to get up off the blue line as she was being knocked down by two different Bengals players. In that upper left-hand corner, a nice blind back pass hits its target, and that was Jalen Castro. Castro behind the net will hit it off the sidewall, looking to kick it back up to her blade, and she could not do it. First one back now is going to be Rathburn as, again, she tries to go up to the far side, and the Bengals keep it alive. That goes off a stick. Here's a slap shot towards the net. Easily saved by Perron. She saw it all the way.
But that was a really good play by Nebenequit as she was able to get the pinch in from her defensive position, get control of the puck, come around to the weak side, make a good solid pass, and the shot from the point was right on, forcing the good play and good save by Magali Perron.
Face off on the right dot here in front of Perron. This one comes out in front. Nice pass. However, it's chipped away at the last second by the Bears. Loose puck slapped forward, and once again it's dumped in here by Buffalo State with about 2 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the first. Kane in front of her own bench has to fight with two different Bengals players. Boyd finally comes in, picks up the loose puck, and will pass it across. That is deflected away down the ice. No icing, as right now the first one for the Bears to get to it is going to be Castro.
Good stretch pass attempt towards Castro. Couldn't get control of it, but nonetheless they did get good geography out of it, and the Bears were able to keep the puck on the proper side of the red line.
As SUNY Potsdam tries to come back left to right with speed, it's Prue giving it along. That was Castro, however, at the last second she tries to fake out the defender, and it did not work in her favor.
Wanted to get a quick shot. She thought the better of it, if you will, and it just wasn't the right move. She could have got that shot away, but still tried the extra move. Good play by the defender.
Here comes Visco in on the left wing side. That one goes wide of the net. This one is in the skates of a Bengals player. Ultimately picked up by Quinn Murray at the blue line. Kept in here by Rathburn. Around the boards. Picked up again here by Buffalo State. They try to alley-oop it over the defense, and they do. However, Rathburn is the first one back for it. Backhander off the sidewall as Lease tries to regain possession with 1 minute remaining here in the first period.
Rapid moving first period here, I will say.
You can say, yeah, you can say that again. Absolutely. That one taken away. Nicely done on the Hawk. Right in front of the net. Perron makes the stop and off the rebound. Grabs it out of midair.
That was a dangerous situation to begin with. Ended up being a pass. And then it was number 16, Taylor Masterson, who was able to redirect that towards the front of the net and had a terrific save by Magali Perron to keep this game tied at 0.
At the blue line, that one bobbles and bounces back out to center ice, now in, as the Bengals had to tag up here on the offsides. Could not get it by the defense on the first attempt. Now it's brought out here by Whiteside. She'll do the drop pass. Shot towards the net. That's deflected off the stick of Berardice. You got to wonder if that would have been a high stick if it would have went in the back of the net.
Yeah, that was a high shot off the shoulder of Knott. Another shot coming from the point is knocked away here with 8 seconds to go. Bears are going to have to tag up here as this period is winding down.
1 second remaining. The horn sounds, and that will end our first 20 minutes of play here at the Maxey Hall Arena. And currently, after 1 period of play in women's hockey, it is Buffalo State 0 and SUNY Potsdam 0 on the Teddy Bear Toss night.
Both goaltenders earning their keep here tonight. A couple of good saves at both ends. Both teams seem to be playing a very similar style. They're not sustaining a lot of time off of the forecheck, but they are getting some, but not a lot, as they're looking for their plays as they come in on the rush, and they just haven't been able to really identify a really good forechecking. But that's the same for both teams. So the score indicates the quality of the game right now.
Couldn't have said it any better. Usually these two teams every season will trade wins back and forth. Right now they're tied here after 20 minutes of play, as the Teddy Bears will rain down here at the end of the first intermission, like we had kind of previously thought they would, as we will step aside here for about 8 to 9 minutes, and we will come back with your updated statistics on the first period of play, and we'll also go over the updated out-of-town scores. So don't go anywhere. We will be back here shortly on Mix 96.1 FM and PotsdamBears.com. rolling here on Mix 96.1 FM, as well as streaming on PotsdamBears.com. We are here at the Maxey Hall Ice Rink in Potsdam, New York, as currently, after 20 minutes of play here in this women's hockey contest, it is currently scoreless between the Buffalo State Bengals and the SUNY Potsdam Bears. Along with Todd Truax engineering this broadcast, and with my partner, the former Potsdam Bears coach, John Horn, I'm Taylor Salisbury. And John, solid 20 minutes for both teams. As you mentioned there before we went to the break, both of these teams equally matched. They play each other very well, and it's showing here on the stat sheet.
A couple of power play opportunities for Buff State. They weren't able to capitalize. The Bears would take 2 penalties in that period. Sophia Lees would go off for holding. Kind of a tough call in my opinion.
Very tough. Very tough.
You know, and that she definitely had her arm around the upper body. But anyways, too many players on the ice was the second penalty. So Bears were successful in killing off both of those. We have no goals to report, but the shots on goal in the period had the Bengals out shooting the Bears by 7-5. So pretty good solid period. As we were talking about earlier, they both teams just seem to not being able to really sustain a whole lot. They do get a little bit of zone time, but most of the opportunities are coming on the rush. Both teams successfully having solid defensive play as well as good back checking to really kind of limit the opportunities, but the rush is really where both teams are getting their potential, but the Bears as well as the Bengals are successful in really thwarting that, as we see no goals here at the end of the first period.
Both goalies looking solid, even though there weren't a lot of chances there in the first period. Both Knott and Perron were up to the task when they needed to be.
Yeah, and they're earning their keep, and we're going to see how that continues. But Magali Perron, one of the captains for the Bears, she's been solid all year, and so we look forward to her continued solid play.
As right now, we will look at the out-of-town scoreboard here before the start of the second period. For SUNY Potsdam teams, the men's hockey team is down the road, the Route 11 rivalry match with SUNY Canton. At the end of the first period, the Kangaroos are up on the Bears 1. Or it's the Bears 1-0 on the Kangaroos, excuse me. In women's basketball, they are taking on Utica in Plattsburgh. It's the Holiday Inn Express Cardinal Classic. Right now, we're still waiting on an update because they would have just tipped off at 7:30. For SUNY Canton, the women's hockey team was at Morrisville this afternoon, and the final was Canton 2, Morrisville 1. In men's basketball, they are playing SUNY Poly at home. At the end of the first half, it was 27-25 in favor of SUNY Canton. For the St. Lawrence University Saints, the men's hockey team is taking on Dartmouth coming into town. At the end of the first period, it is Dartmouth 1, St. Lawrence University 0. And for the Clarkson Golden Knights, the men's hockey team is playing Harvard across town at Cheel Arena. And after 20 minutes of play, they are also scoreless currently. The women's basketball team is playing Cedar Crest College. In the second quarter, halfway through, it's 21-12, Clarkson over Cedar Crest. And we will see here, yes, in other men's SUNYAC games, Skidmore was at Hobart College, and Hobart will take the victory at the end of the first period, they're up 2-1. Buffalo State is at Cortland. They are knotted up at 2 at the end of the first period. Plattsburgh State is at Oswego State. Plattsburgh leads Oswego 1-0 after 20 minutes. And Fredonia at Morrisville, they lead Morrisville 1-0 in the end of the first. For women's hockey SUNYAC play, Cortland loses to Oswego State this afternoon, 3-2 the final there. And currently, William Smith, who will be the team here tomorrow in the second game of the weekend doubleheader, down 1-0 at Plattsburgh State to start the second period.
William Smith just starting in the SUNYAC League this year. They're going to feature the traditional teams: Buff State, Canton, Cortland, Morrisville, Oswego, Plattsburgh, Potsdam, and William Smith. And the playoff structure is going to change. That's going to be moving from 4 to 6 teams in women's hockey. We'll talk about the men's change as well, but that's kind of the new thing as the women's hockey just continues to grow nationwide, and it is growing in the SUNYAC League by one more team this year.
That puck is deflected in front of the crease of Perron, back down into the bottom right-hand corner. Both teams jockeying for possession here as this one is thrown towards the net, and it's punched away by Perron at the last second. Off the boards, that puck is on its edge here. Castro will receive the pass. On the opposite side, looks for Kane, a little bit too ahead of her there, and she will have to flip it around the boards from the Zamboni entrance.
Pretty unassuming as that play came from high in the zone. That's a shot and a save there by Knott. But that original play didn't look like it was going to be much, but Kane was coming in there and just missed getting that loose puck.
The second defenseman did not notice Kane streaking in on the opposite right wing side, and it almost cost the Bengals here that first goal of the game.
We got a face-off here to the left of Magali Perron, 18:51 to go in this second period. Still no score.
As this will be won by Marissa Whiteside. Back for it to chip it along is Kane. And now it's going to be a foot race for it as it's Paradis, and she's going to beat out Murray by a foot. However, she could not cut in off that right side towards the net.
We were talking about that in the pregame with Coach Cook, who really admires Paradis's speed and wants her to stay wide and be able to really force the defense to make a turn. That time, the defense made a nice play on her.
Paradis, a freshman forward here from Montreal, Quebec, as she now has made her way from the Canadian side of the border, a hop and a skip and a jump here to Potsdam in the North Country. Here's a wide open chance as the pass just misses down on the right side of the post. That was Keegan Scott who was the intended target. Puck flips up and then stops on a dime as it comes down out of midair. With it now are the Bengals. That one goes through a couple of bodies and is picked up here by Prue, who will go back into her defensive zone. Scooting this one along back towards the net was Recolette Nobin Ionquit, but she'll have to go back for it in her own zone behind the net of Knott. She did do a head fake there on Isabel Boyd and was able to come away with it successfully. Boyd getting back in the play here, could not catch up with the puck, and now this is going to be Malone. Mills picking it up for the Bears, and then that one's chipped off her stick by Michaela Gold. Boyd coming in, second one to help out. Ooh! Losing her stick there was a Bengals player there in front of the net, and to be honest, she could have gotten a penalty. She gave Rathburn a swipe to the back of the dome. Looks to be 15. That was Gold. As that is dumped in here by Purdy, she loses an edge with her skate, and we'll go back to the bench here. Visco will tag up with her. 16 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the middle period. We're still scoreless between the Bengals and the Bears. On the half wall, this is going to be thrown up forwarding on the far side. Letting that one go was Malone. Brought back in here by Bullock. Her pass towards the net goes off a skate. The loose change picked up here as the Bengals come back left to right. Quickly shot on net. Perron makes the stop. However, she could not control the initial shot. in front of the Buffalo State bench. That one is thrown to the opposite side by Konishnik as she goes off on the change. No icing as the puck barely made it over the goal line.
Bears on the change there, allowed a good clean breakout by the Bengals, and they were able to take the zone before the Bears could get all their numbers in play here. But dealing with a full stack right now, they're able to get the puck out to Castro as she comes in with an opportunity.
Castro shoots that one towards the left side. No good. Rebound on the side of the net. Tough angle, and not is able to put that in the pads.
Castro gets the puck close to the offensive blue line. Had quite a bit of space there to be able to determine what she was going to do with it, and actually ends up getting a good goal-scoring opportunity, albeit from high in the zone.
This face-off finally won by the Bengals as they come away. Kane basically got undressed there by number 11, Sydney Radecki, for the Bengals, who still has control of the puck, tries to put it in front of the net. However, that goes underneath the stick of Masterson.
Good skating by Prue there on that rush. She was able to keep her body in front of the offensive player, so nice backward skating by Victoria Prue.
And a gorgeous defensive play there by Castro in front of the net as there was a possibility for a shot on Perron. That puck goes all the way down the ice to the net of Knott, and she's not going to take any chances with it.
Good pressure from the Bears coming in there, looking for her to make a judgment to keep that puck in play, but she was aware of the pressure and just held on for the face-off.
Puck will be thrown down here to the right of the Bengals netminder, and it's one here as trying to get away with it would have been Ramsey. Ramsey are trying to get back on defense. Delayed offsides now called as first one in was Paradis.
Elise Clifford had an opportunity there. Tried to make a direct pass. Indirect pass was probably the order of the day. A little bank pass off the boards would have had a better chance for success. Sometimes those angles are better on the indirect. Linear passes are tough to catch.
Going back the other way here is Willick. However, that one is poked off her blade, and Sunny Potsdam starts the breakout. Going back right to left, too far there on the pass for Gamberg, and it's thrown back down here by Vitrano. On the far side, that one wristed back down low behind the net. That was Rathburn trying to get off the ice. Picked up here by Whiteside. Slapped along. Still going to be kept in here off the blue line. Pinching on the far side. Nicely done there. Would have been Whiteside who got back. And she has it once again. This time puts a shot towards the net, and that hits the right pillow of Knott.
Good work there, anticipating the pass. Got the opportunity to take some ice and get a good shot.
Going after this one is Boyd, and she's going to tie up her attacker. Getting away with it, though, is going to be Scott. Now it's Mills here for the Bears as she took that one away in the neutral zone. She'll be pressured by two players of Buffalo State. Boyd tried to pick up the pass, and she's going to actually lose the puck for her troubles. And, here's a little bit of miscommunication as it's deflected away by Willick. Mills was looking back for the pass, and it got taken away at the blue line. She's lucky that the Bengals didn't cash in on that one for the first goal of the game with about 12 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in our middle frame.
The other Potsdam defender was in the position to really cover up for that one.
Once again, a very back and forth even tilt here between these two clubs. We typically see that more times than not between the Bengals and the Bears. Like you were talking about the statistics against King's College in the first two games for the Bengals, as well as I believe you said the third team was Fredonia, and there was a lot of offense put on there by Buffalo State.
Well, Buffalo State was able to get some goals there in the early going, both against King's College. They scored 9 goals and 5 in the second game.
It's almost like a mirror match here between Potsdam and Buffalo State as that one goes off the stick of Clifford. She advances the puck forward for Lease. That one knocked away by Knott as she could not control it in the glove.
You'll see, again, we're going to talk about not sustaining any real significant zone time on either team there. It's almost like a one and done. Give the defense a lot of credit. They're picking up the loose garbage and being able to get it out of the zone without any problems. But you've got to get a little bit more pressure on this, especially down low, if we're going to get goal-scoring opportunities.
That one Kareem's off a stick. It was picked up by the Bengals, shot back out towards the middle, and now on the right wing side, taking this one away is Mirandula. She'll curl away from the danger, looked for the pass in the middle. That one's going to go all the way down the ice off the stick of Gould, and that's an icing on the Bengals.
Yeah, good look by Mirandula. She does a power turn over there on the far side, looking for the trailer to come in. Didn't have an opportunity to really connect there, but a good thought by Mirandula there was we're looking to get a good offensive opportunity. They have been few and far between here in this game, which would be indicated by the score as being tied at 0 with just about coming into the halfway mark of the game.
Definitely have to think that the fans here, and once again, a very good crowd out here for a Friday night, especially when Clarkson's in town and the men's hockey team is in the rivalry game 10 miles away. So you can't, nice stop off the paddle by Perron on that one. But right now, I mean, the support is there, and you got to think that these fans here in attendance are eager to jump up out of their seat as here's a possible 3-on-0. Going back the other way, Clifford able to get in there, and Perron comes out deep for the save.
Way out to make that save. Again, this is that second period. It's the long change period, and you've got to be mindful of that, making sure that the puck is deep before you make that change. And even with that, if a quick turnover takes place, a stretch pass will give you a good goal-scoring opportunity. But the backup there was Magali Perron as she was able to make that save.
Talk about a 90s save. She really came out to the top of the circles for that one.
That was a good one.
Down low in the bottom right-hand corner. This one is picked up, thrown back out in front in the slot area, and Gamberg able to get a piece of it and knock it over to the far side. Down low on the end boards. This is going to be taken away. Picking the pocket is Whiteside. She looks up and will skate with it. Now a nice pass for Paradis as she was trying to get past the last defense, which was Murray. She could not do it. However, she continues on and gets some help from Gamberg. That official up in that Zamboni corner better watch out. He's already been hit twice with the puck so far, and he almost just took a check for his troubles. And I'm not talking about a good payoff check. I'm talking about a body check. Now coming along with it was Delorme. She loses control of that one as she tries to get back to her assignment position. Down low this goes, behind the net of Perron. Sydney Potsdam will bring it out, and ooh, big collision there as the puck goes down the ice. Putting the body on there was Josie Purdy, the senior forward. And now Purdy's going to try to make it towards the net. She's pushed aside as Knott makes the initial stop for the faceoff.
For the most part, the goaltenders have been able to control those rebounds and shut the play off. Good example of that right there. Bears came in, had the shot, were attempting to press towards the net, ridden off nicely, however, by the Bengals defensive player as the goal-scoring opportunity was thwarted.
Clifford hesitated on the pass across. Here's a breakaway for the Bengals, cutting in right to left. Perron slides over for a gorgeous save.
Radecki came in almost unintended, even though there was back pressure there, but Perron had to make a terrific save, but I'm sure Radecki could feel the pressure coming from behind.
Now testing her luck is Radecki. However, that one's poked away. Will go all the way down the ice here in front of the Bears bench. First one back for the Bengals will be Arisa Vetrano. Junior defenseman from Lake Villa, Illinois, played for the Milwaukee Junior Admirals in her previous schooling before college. There's a piece of that, however, it's going to go all the way down the ice. It was on the Bears' defensive side, so they'll come back down here near Perron.
Big save by Perron there on Radecki to keep this a scoreless tie. A little bit of a breakdown there as there was a lot of room, and Buff State had some numbers. They were going in with really 3, but it was Radecki that split the defense as she was able to get a leg up on the defender.
Absolutely, and you have to definitely give credit to Radecki on that, because she really just made her way through the split there and was able to get the opportunity. Tries to, right there was Ramsier, and that went off of the stick of Perron once again. Konishnik tries to get away with this one. It goes up in the air. A few players didn't know where it was. Visco tried to bat it down with a glove, and now Elise will leave it in the Bengals defensive zone and go off for the change. 7 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here in the second period, as we are still scoreless here between Buffalo State and SUNY Potsdam.
Castro is getting some looks here, but the good defensive play by the defender thwarted that most recent one, but she's getting some looks. We'll keep an eye on her as this game progresses. You're looking forward to the players that are getting the looks, and she is getting a couple of good ones.
Speaking of looks, a good look there on a saucer pass into the middle to Ramsier, and actually she got hit, and she also lost her glove on the play. Now coming back the other way is Marandula. Ooh, faking out the defender. Nicely done. And this will be Rebecca Kane. Shoots it towards the net, deflected by Marandula, just wide of the left side post.
Get the puck towards the net. It's never a bad decision to do that. Bears have had a couple of opportunities tonight where maybe they've looked for the extra move or the extra deke, but get that puck towards the net.
Well, as you say that, Rebecca Kane tried to do the extra move back pass blindly, and Buffalo State was able to get it out of their own zone. First one to that one on the half wall are the Bengals as they try to cycle it down low. That one taken away off a blade, poking it away here, and going to be Clifford. However, she's beaten out on the foot race by Malone. That one taken away in the feet of Castro. Can she get it towards the net? No, that one goes off the body of Quinn Murray down low. Castro gets it in front of the net. Now it's there, loose, sliding. Oh, it hit the post as Castro dives for it.
She's getting the looks.
And we were just about to finally put the first goal on the board here with about 5 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the second period.
Not a very good angle there. She was below the goal line, but nonetheless directed it towards the net, hit the outside of the pipe.
Here come the Bears, back 3-on-2. That one goes off a stick, and it's picked up here by Buffalo State. This will be Cadence Kemp with a shot towards the net. Can't tell if Perron got a piece of that. I do believe she did, off of the right shoulder. Fanning on the pass down low. That would have been Carlson. And now it comes back to the blue line. This is Kolzak. Her shot, a floater back, hitting the glass behind the cage. She'll get it once more, testing her luck one more time. That one almost deflected in front of the net. Perron kicks it away.
That was number 23 coming in from below the goal line. That was Kades, who was kind of snuck in behind the defensive player, and she was unoccupied as the puck came in her direction.
Now with a little bit of time, Rathburn looks up, hits the stick. The intended target was Whiteside. However, that's too far for an icing against the Bears.
Not a bad decision there. The Bears will take their time getting back towards the face-off circle, but not a bad decision to get that puck deep, albeit the icing call.
This one will be to the right of the SUNY Potsdam goalie as it comes right in front. And luckily a good little defensive play put on so Perron could pounce on that loose puck.
I think that was Masterson who was in the general vicinity of being able to get the puck there, but it was a good play by the Potsdam defense to get her body. That was Rathburn that was able to get her body between the puck and the Masterson.
So now here come the Bears. Streaking away with this one, but didn't have control of the stick was Boyd. Poke checked away as Bullock will get back to it first here with about 4 minutes remaining here in the second period. 0-0 is the score. That one fanned, and that's going to be a tripping call as Mills is taken down on the play. And that will go against number 19. That is Sage Running Rabbit for the Bengals.
We're going to look here at the power plays. The Bears have got one power play goal this year. We saw that. It was here. So they're 1 for 10 on the year so far. And so a great opportunity here to improve on that statistic. Face-off is going to be to the right of goaltender Knott here, with the face-off being won by the Bears.
Back past the Kane at the blue line here on the left wing side. She goes across for her partner Prue. Prue will stick handle a few times. Quick give and go as she gets it back. Now down low here in the Zamboni corner. That was Castro trying to put it across, and it will go all the way back here to the bottom left-hand corner as Rebecca Kane tries to track this one down.
I was going to say, you don't want to be too particular here. The Bears want to force some saves and maybe look for some rebounds. Oftentimes, you can be a little bit too particular. Get that puck towards the net and force a turnover and get some puck recovery going.
Marandola showing some lovely footwork here on the far side to get away from her defenders. Once again, she does it. Coming in there was Siriana Running Rabbit.
Yeah, you're going to see some nice pressure there. It looks like Buff State is looking to pressure the pass as they are very aggressive here on the kill.
And you got to think that these fans here getting a little restless on the first power play opportunity, as the Bears really haven't had a first good shot here on this first power play opportunity. However, it might be coming sooner than we think. Prue lets this one go through traffic. It's loose, and it's in the feet of Castro. Not finally able to find it. The whistle blows. Oh boy, oh boy.
Well, that's the key right there. We talked about the power play. You're passing it around. They're pressuring you a lot. If they're pressuring you, that means the players are coming out higher in the zone. There's not good numbers back towards the net. So if you can get that puck towards the net from the shot from the point, you're going to force some activity in front of the net, and that was a good example of that right there.
40 seconds remaining here on the power play for the Bears.
Like to see a shot here.
Absolutely, as it's being worked around at the top. Now it's Bullock playing point. That one gets through, as looking for the one-timer in the slot was Paradis. She just could not get enough wood on that one. Here's a shot towards the net that goes off of the body of Boyd. Ooh, the rebound just misses wide of Knott.
That's what we're talking about right there. You got to get some pucks in there. 13 seconds to go. Getting some activity. There's a shot and a redirect.
As Boyd was parked out right in front of the crease. Let's see if she tries it again as Bullock passes it down low. Here it goes right in front of the net. Deflection at the last moment as Clifford trying to give that back to Boyd. Boyd could pitch a tent out there, setting up camp in front of the net. As this one goes all the way down the ice, Perron will cover it, and we'll have a brief meeting of the minds as everybody's talking about their calculus homework.
Well, good penalty kill there, but later in that power play, the Bears thought the better of overpassing, tried to get some shots towards the net. They were able to get some activity in that slot area, some rebounds. They recovered the puck, kept some sustained pressure, and that's what we haven't seen so far here tonight, was much sustained pressure.
Definitely a lot better than the Bengals' second opportunity on the power play, whereas SUNY Potsdam controlled that with a player down and basically had no chance there. That one was a headhunter going to Perron. She swallows it up.
As she can do, she makes that great save and holds on to the rebound. Minute 24 to go. Bears will get a good change. Not everybody, but the forward line is coming out. Marandola will be there for this defensive end faceoff.
And she will win this one. That one went around for Kane, too far out to center. Thrown back in here by the Bengals. I thought that one was behind the red line, but they did wave off the icing. I do understand. I mean, there was a player over there as well. First one, 2 at this time is Running Rabbit. Shot, score! A pass by Running Rabbit out in front. I believe that is Willick or Masterson. And finally, the egg has been cracked here. 1-0, Buffalo State.
A defensive breakdown right there. I mean, Masterson, I believe, will get credit for it. We'll see.
Yes,
but
16.
she was all alone in the slot area. All alone. Nobody near her. And the shot found, the pass found her stick, and she was able to beat Magali Perrant high, I believe, to the glove side. But a breakdown by the Bears there on their defensive end coverage here with just about a minute to go in that second period.
Bullock will control this one as she will pass it along. It's a forward pass. Little miscommunication as Gamberg was there with Whiteside, and I thought that pass again was right here near our penalty box underneath us in the crow's nest. That was a questionable call. I hate to say it, but
I agree, but it doesn't seem to be a problem to anybody else. So I guess
brings it all the way back down here into the Bears zone. It's won here by the Bengals. Whipped back around off the half wall. In front of the net again, wide open was Ramsier. And to be honest, the Bears are lucky she didn't get all of that shot.
Yeah, that's the second time here in about a minute or less than a minute that the player is not being occupied in the slot area. That right there was the defensive player who didn't come out high enough to really occupy her. She's got to get out and get a body close to that offensive player in the slot. But as you say, had she gotten more of it, that we could be very easily looking at a 2-goal lead.
17.4 seconds remaining here. Face off to the right of Perrault. Coming in for that one is Konishnik. And she is going to take this away. Visco had control of it, and then that one was taken away off a stick lift. 5 seconds remaining here as the final seconds tick off, and we'll have the horn here in a second. There it goes, and that'll finish off the second period of play here at Maxey Hall. And after 40 minutes of play here now at the Teddy Bear Toss night, it is the Buffalo State Bengals 1 and the SUNY Potsdam Bears 0.
Well, the Bears are lucky to get out of that one with just being down 1. Pressure got turned up a notch here in about the last 3 minutes, perhaps feeding off that penalty kill. The Bengals were able to come up with a little bit more kick in their step, if you will, and really turned on the pressure. It resulted in a goal. Poor defensive coverage by the Bears allowed that first goal to come from the slot area, but another offensive opportunity, again, soft coverage in the slot area, allowed the Bengals to get a couple of good goal-scoring opportunities. They got to tighten that up.
And the Bengals will go back into the locker room, sitting on a 1-goal lead, and we will be back here in 10 minutes' time to give you your second period statistics during the intermission, as well as your updated out-of-town scoreboard, and get you ready for the weekend's other games going on here for SUNY Potsdam. We will be back momentarily here on Mix 96.1 FM and PotsdamBears.com. right, Todd, we're going to go back here in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back here at the second intermission at Maxey Hall, as right now here on this Friday evening in women's hockey, it is now currently the Buffalo State Bengals 1 and the SUNY Potsdam Bears 0 after 2 periods of play. For Todd Truax engineering this broadcast, and for my partner, the former Potsdam Bears coach, John Horn, I'm Taylor Salisbury. And John, in that second period of play, both teams again neck and neck with each other, playing almost a mirror match, really, up until the very last 2 minutes of the period.
Yeah, and that's exactly the way it was. It was 18:58 of the second period that Taylor Masterson would get her second goal of the season. Sage Running Rabbit would pick up her third assist, along with Sydney Radecki picking up her second assist on the year. Shots on goal in that period had the Bengals out shooting the Bears 12-8 for a 2-period total of 19 versus 13. So they did pick it up. I think they were energized off the penalty kill. Took advantage of some very soft defensive end coverage by the Bears in the dying 2 minutes of that second period. Masterson gets the goal from right about the interior hash marks, and it was a nice shot. She took advantage of the time and space and was able to get that shot up and above the glove of goaltender Magali Perron. But it would be about 30 seconds later that there was another opportunity. I think it was Radecki who was in the slot area, a little bit lower, mind you, an easier coverage by the defensive player who just did not get a body close to her, had an opportunity, didn't get all of that wood or composite on the puck, and so it just sailed wide a little bit, but they could have scored 2 goals in really about 30 seconds in the dying 2 minutes of that second period.
Yeah, definitely a blown assignment there by the Bears defensive players, and again, they're really fortunate here that they're only down by 1 goal going into the start of the third period.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it. I just feel that as the period wore on, they got a little softer in their defensive end coverage. They have to be a little bit more energized, get their sticks in the proper position, but really skate a little bit harder on their defensive end coverage.
As we will look here at the updated out-of-town scoreboard, speaking of blowing out a team, and this is, as you mentioned, very uncommon. SUNY Potsdam's men's hockey team on the road, they were up 1-0 against SUNY Canton. Now, halfway through the second period, it is SUNY Potsdam 5, SUNY Canton 1.
Yeah, and Owen Watson would have the hat trick in that game so far. So a good offensive outburst by the Bears in the second period have things looking up over there, but still a lot of time to go in that game.
Women's basketball was in Plattsburgh taking on Utica in the Holiday Inn Express Cardinal Classic, and they're down by 10 points at the end of the first quarter, 23-13. SUNY Canton, we mentioned the women's hockey team victorious over Morrisville. Their basketball team knotted up right now at 7 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the second half. It's 47 apiece. For St. Lawrence University, the men's hockey team against Dartmouth, they were down 1-0. Now they were down 4-0 halfway through the second period. And as for the Clarkson Golden Knights, the men's hockey team finally breaks through against Harvard. It is 1-0 with 3 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the second period. In men's SUNYAC hockey, Hobart leads Skidmore 3-1 at the tail end of the second period. 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in that one. Buffalo State has tied it up with Cortland at the end of the second period, 3-3. Plattsburgh State and Oswego State. Plattsburgh still clinging to a 1-0 lead. 3 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the second. And Fredonia and Morrisville now tied at 1 at the end of 2 periods of play. Did mention that there was the final in women's hockey. SUNYAC, Oswego State beating Cortland 3-2. Now, Plattsburgh leads William Smith College at the end of 2 periods, 3-0.
We'll see William Smith here tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, so please come back and join us for that game. But the order of the day right now is for the Bears to really pick up some energy, down by 1 here as we start the second and the third period.
They win the initial faceoff here as Kane will slap this one back down into the bottom right-hand corner, and now Castro will come into the lane and scoop up the loose puck. She's pinned along the boards. Now coming away with the loose one is going to be Masterson. As we said, she has the lone goal so far in the contest. Here's a shot towards the net, and that one batted aside with the waffle board by Perron. Both teams trying to maintain possession here on the half wall. Now they go into the Zamboni corner. Puck loose, comes out to the side of the crease. Perron squeezes on the post to make sure that one wasn't going to take a funny bounce into the net.
A little bit more active there and low in the zone, covering the people in front of the net. So the coaching staff had a little conversation, I'm sure, about that last 2 minutes of play.
That one's stolen away at the last second here. Shot towards the net. Not a lot on it in terms of power. And now the Bears trying to get it out. Wow. Is that Marindola over there? I believe it may be, and she's having a lot of trouble here. I don't know if it's the ice resurfacing or if she's just flying by the puck as she tries to go back left to right.
Yeah, just didn't get a good handle on it there. Forced the play to stay in the zone a little bit longer than she would have liked.
And if you're watching on PotsdamBears.com, the Bears are going back from the left side of the ice to the right in the gray uniforms. Buffalo State, right to left in the black uniforms with orange numbers. As now below the net of Knott, Ricolette Nobenionquit will keep this one going for her team on the breakout. Chipped along to the center lane. However, that one too far. The intended pass was for Gray. In front of the Bears bench, Whiteside will pass it back to the defense, and that one again swiped away, really having some trouble as that was Clifford this time fanning on it.
Good pressure by Buff State there to force Clifford.
Ooh, that one went off a skate in front of the net. The last second it careens wide of the right side post as Perron didn't see it until it was past the net. Fired up the boards, however, it's kept alive by the Bengals. Really putting on relentless pressure here. Finally, Perron will stop this one and give her team a breather as we've only eclipsed 3 minutes here in the third.
Bears don't seem to be real purposeful in their passes here in their defensive end, throwing it around a little bit to not, like I said, without purpose, so that allows the turnovers there, especially if you're not lucky enough to be in the vicinity of that pass.
Grace Zuwalik gets knocked down there, going after the puck as it was Prue, bringing her down to the ice. And now this one thrown right in front of the net, and it will go wide as Knott tried to swipe the puck behind the net.
Good rush by the Bears and good defensive coverage by the Buffalo State Bengals. They had good numbers back there, but a little bit more energy out of the Bears on that offensive rush.
As we mentioned here, the women's team will be back in action tomorrow afternoon against William Smith. 3 p.m. a puck drop. You can come down here to Maxey Hall where there's plenty of room, or you can listen to it on Mix 96.1 FM or watch the live stream on PotsdamBears.com. Either way, we will welcome you here to SUNY Potsdam in any shape or fashion.
Good shot from the point. Another one coming in, forcing Knott to make the save. The first one was not a save. It went over top of the net, but nonetheless, it remains being a loose puck. So the Bears, off of those shots, are creating opportunities, and that's what the order of the day has got to be.
Mills trying to throw that one towards the net and have her team crash. However, it was taken away at the last moment. Tipped a few times here by the Bengals in their own zone, and now streaking throughout the left wing side is Malone. She got through one Bear defender. However, she could not beat Ryan Rathburn, who took it away from her.
on the counterattack here. The Bengals get the puck deep. Bears are going back for it. Pressure coming hard there. A little bit slow on the puck movement, but the Bears are able to get it up the sidewall. Can't clear. And that's Edwards who will finally get the puck out.
Edwards and Visco, a good combination here, number 14 and 24 in gray for the Bears. And that will be an icing as it was just barely over center red line in the neutral zone.
On the wrong side.
On the wrong side. Also want to mention, as we were alluding to before the start of this game, the men's hockey team, who is right now up 5-1 against SUNY Canton, will have a kids game, just like Clarkson and St. Lawrence women hockey had this previous weekend, here at Maxey Hall on November 25th. That is a Tuesday morning at 11 a.m., sponsored by Stewart Shops, and we will have plenty of Potsdam Lawrence Avenue elementary kids as well as Norwood Norfolk elementary kids here. Should be a very packed house. Limited seating is available. Do want to say that out loud if you're going to try to come down.
Well, that's a great idea. And only those schools are not the other schools?
From what I see here from our sports director, Dan Bronson, that was what he typed up in the story. There might be an extra one, but for right now, those are the two ones that are mentioned here on the on PotsdamBears.com's articles.
Just wondered if Canton, being Canton, would they would come over and be a part of that as well. But Dan Bronson, he knows his news, so
that he does.
So that's the way it's going to be.
And we have a Bengal player down, clutching at her ankle behind the net as she got crushed by Elise Clifford.
She went down awkwardly there, no doubt about it, holding the ankle. We got a stoppage in play here. This is occurring at 14:44 of the third period. We're going to have the trainer make it out there ever so slowly to get out and see what the situation is there. Not a sound here in the building. It's gone dead silent.
Absolutely not. I mean, the people that come here always love competition, but at the same time, everybody can understand when there's a severe injury going on here during the play. Nobody wants to see either team get an injury, especially so early in the season.
Well, as we have a little time here to take a look, see if there's any updates going on over in Canton, where the Bears are playing SUNY Canton. The live stats, no, I guess I went to the wrong place there. Let's go back a week. Here we are here. Actually, this is hockey reunion weekend for the Canton program.
Oh.
And as it stands right now, as we boot this up, it's between periods, and it's still a 5-1 game. Bears would have 4 goals against the 1 goal in the second period. The Bears left at the end of the first period with a 1-goal lead, and then exploded for 4 in that second period.
And who didn't check before? Who do we have in net here for the Bears?
Well, we're going to check. I'm going to imagine that it's Pierno.
I would assume so,
but we're going to see. Yeah, it looks like Pierno is in, and he would have, as of right now, looks like had 19 shots on goal. Glad to see the Bengal player get up and coming over to the bench, although not putting any weight on that right leg.
No, none whatsoever.
I'm going to get a number on that to see who that is. That's number 17 who would be going off. That's Cadence Kemp, the freshman from Niagara Falls, Ontario, who is in some degree of distress, albeit she's going to the bench.
Not to the locker room, exactly.
To the locker room, so we're going to see if that's going to be the case. But nonetheless, here, 14:44 to go in this third period.
I was just going to say, shows you what kind of a warrior Kemp is here for the Bengals. No penalty called either on that. It was just an awkward fall there, and she went down in a heap in the corner. as the puck takes an awkward bounce. That should have went behind the net. However, it came right out in front of the pads of Perron, so she had to be right on her game there, as now coming back the other way with speed is Bullock. On the right wing side, she tries to put it up towards the post, and at the last minute, she's knocked off the puck.
Yeah, good stick by the Bengals defender there. Really thwarted that offensive opportunity.
Kane's going to tip this one away, and she has a chance to come back. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 actually, with Prue coming as support. Kane passing it. Prue couldn't get it. It was behind her, and neither could Whiteside.
Just a little bit too long on the trigger there.
Little bit, definitely, as now the Bengals trying to cut back here. A shot towards the net, that deflected. Letting it go is Sydney Radecki. And again, just Perron had to be on top of her head there, because that one, again, awkward bounce going towards the net.
Just a little bit of a knuckler there as it got towards Magali Perron, but she kept a good concentration, was able to hold on to it. Good offensive opportunity, just a little bit slow on the deciding what to do with either pass or shoot there, but nonetheless, Bengals had some good numbers getting back in the play to prevent that good goal scoring opportunity.
Bounced off the boards. Gamberg trying to pick it up, cannot do it. And that one actually, I believe, just might have went off the dome of one of the SUNY Potsdam girls off the bench. So the face-off will be back at center ice.
Center ice, and we have that unit of Whiteside, Gamberg, and Paradis out there. Like that unit, like to see them get that really going. They were good here against Alvernia. Haven't been kind of quiet here tonight.
Well, Clifford will connect on that pass to Paradis. Now across left to right, it's Gamberg. She will stick handle with it over the blue line. However, that one again poked away, and that's what we were kind of talking about, where we saw it in that game against Alvernia, the two games. It seems as though SUNY Potsdam a little bit too soft on the stick when they have the puck in their possession.
Well, that other thing we're talking about before the game here, I mean, the puck carrier skating towards the middle of the ice into two defenders there. You've got sticks to deal with. Not only that, but the back pressure as well. Rather than going wide or moving the puck to your partner there, but skated into trouble and really was not able to get the puck deep or get an offensive opportunity.
Willick is going to take a hip check there up in the corner. That puck will be picked up here by the Bears, trying to sail this one up forward. That one too far for Mills. Will go down the ice, and it will come back here into the Bears zone.
Yeah, Bears just seem a little bit out of sorts here on just struggling to make plays, I think, is the thing there. We'll give credit to Buff State, who is really getting in the passing lanes, are doing what they have to do to really get in the way of the systematic approach the Bears would like to have.
With the puck now, Cadez across to the far side. Murray tried to dump that one in, and it was stopped quickly as it just entered the blue line. Over there was Bullock as she gets beat into the corner with the puck, and now she's going to get tripped up. Couple players get tripped up, no calls, and Visco will try to go back the other way here. Actually, she gets checked, so now there's going to be a penalty here, and finally they blow the whistle. It's against the Bengals.
Well, there could have been calls down below here, but they finally got one here. I was just going to make comment that really a good shift by Michaela Gould there recently. She had a nice play in the neutral zone, really possessed the puck and was really able to sustain some good pressure low in the zone. Actually almost drew a penalty, but it didn't get that way, so now the Bears have an opportunity on this advantage. I hope that they shoot the puck more than they did the last time.
Penalty goes against number 23, Kaylee Cadez. Here's a slap shot towards the net that deflects off a defender's skate and bounces back down into the Bears' defensive zone. Here's a chance with a step, putting it towards the net. They score! A backhander beats Perron down in the corner, and it looks like again it was Masterson making it 2-0.
I think it is, and if it is, that's the shorty, no doubt about it. Whoever gets it.
No, that one's 18 this time.
Maybe 18. That would be Willick who would get the goal there, but short-handed goal, a real killer here in this close checking contest. So the Bears are going to have to find a way to get things rolling.
As we were mentioning, it was a high sticking call against Cadez there. Still 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining on the power play here for the Bears as they are now down in a 2-goal deficit. Bullock will pass it to the left wing side and get it back at the point. One-time slap shot through traffic. Got to the net. Knott comes up with a big save.
Shot from the point, creating some action. Going to be some puck recovery by the Bears.
As we have about almost 10 minutes remaining here in our regulation play. Bengals bring it out of their own zone, short-handed with 2 players pressuring. Wow, very aggressive strategy there, being up by 2 as Ramsier was going in.
Bears tried to get the breakout there, couldn't get the puck onto Parady's stick. Just a little bit too far for her. Bears still have 41 seconds to go in the advantage.
Perron left that for Bullock, and she will lose control of the puck. However, Castro comes in to pick it up for her. Castro now tied up. Getting that one this time is going to be Purdy. No, actually, it's Marandola. Excuse me. Marandola gets it back up to Bullock. Across right to left. Here's a shot from the circle, and that again is forded off by Knott. 10 seconds remaining here. Time for 1 more or 2 more shots. Going down low is Castro. It's poked away from her at the last second, and that'll do it here as now the Bears go 0 for 2 and gave up a shorthanded marker to the Bengals. Castro, tough angle shot, lets it go. That goes off the partition of one of the glass panes in the corner. And Buffalo State clears that all the way down the ice. However, Whiteside will make it to a first icing against Buffalo State.
Well, it's going to be interesting here to see who they're able to have to keep on the ice. The penalty killers were on the ice at the time of the icing, so this could be an extended penalty.
In theory,
they're going to be fatigued at least a little bit. So until they can get a chance to get a full-scale change, the Bears could have an advantage here.
Well, so far they win the face-off and have kept it in here for an extra 10 seconds. But now, oh wait, it's tipped away. Here's a chance coming the other way. Coach Nicholas, she scores! Tegan Koshnetic, top shelf, and the Bears have split it to 2-1.
I'm telling you, what a turnover there on the blue line, but she made no mistake about that. She walked in all alone and sniped it above the goaltender, Amelia Knott. Turnover, and the Bears were able to capitalize on it. Mistake by the Bears on the power play, shorthanded goal. Mistake by the Bengals there, even strength. Turned it over, the Bears draw to within 1 on the snipe.
And still plenty of time with 9 minutes remaining here in the third period, and that really, I think, has just jolted this team as Gamberg comes in here. Picking up the puck now is going to be Whiteside. Whiteside trying to get away from 2 different players in front of the Bengals bench. That's kept in on the blue line. Pinching was Edwards. Now towards the net, rebound. They shoot. They score! It's a goal! The Bears have tied it at 2!
Again, a turnover there. Got the puck into the goal-scoring area. Couldn't be handled by Knott. Not sure who's going to get credit for it, but that's going to be 2 goals, I think, in less than a minute. And that is going to be Paradis that gets the goal.
That's what it looks like. She was the first one to the bench to get the handshake line going. Do have a whistle here by the by the official. Oh, Coach Cook asking for the puck for the freshman from Montreal to keep as a souvenir, and that really brought the fans back into it as we're tied 2-apiece.
Well, good character by the Bears here as they're able to come back from that 2-goal deficit. We're going to have an interference call.
It's against the Bengals.
Against the Bengals, looks like. And so the Bears, Bengals a little shaken here on that quick 2 goals. We're going to see if they get a timeout to try to regroup. But anyway, the faceoff is going to go back into the Bengals zone to the right of goaltender Knott. 2 goals in, I believe, less than a minute.
It had to have been it, or if anything, definitely less than a minute and 20 seconds. As you mentioned, that big line out here with Bullock on the blue line. Getting it over to the right side for Gamberg. Gamberg will throw it towards the net. Good chance, good deflection. However, Knott was able to recover here after 2 quick goals.
Good opportunity here. Coaching staff seeing that they needed to get more shots on goal has certainly got the attention of the Bears power play unit here as they're approaching their power play differently than they did in the first period.
This goes off the skate of Bullock as she will try to keep it in the offensive zone. However, it does get shot back down safely from the danger zone by Buffalo State. As we have about $1.06 remaining on that interference call to the Bengals. Prue looking for the back pass, however, taking it by herself is going to be Whiteside as she goes from left to right, getting it in over the blue line. She could not pick it back up. Squirts free. This is Castro across to Prue. Little bit of pressure being put on, but she is able to get the backhand pass down low. Getting it back here at the point. Shot goes off the left side pad of Knott. Still plenty of time to set up shop here for the Bears with 30 seconds remaining. However, this could be a 2-on-1 going back the other way, shorthanded, as it's going to be Willick. She dekes. Nice defensive move by Prue to let the stick just lay out there on the ice.
She was just got that at the last minute, and then she's going to continue on and get that shot towards the goal. But a good play there. I think the offensive player thought that she had Prue out of the play, but it was that last minute poke of the stick that knocked it away and allowed Prue to stay on her skates and go down and get an offensive opportunity with 14 seconds to go in the advantage.
Boyd wins this back. Bullock across to the defensive partner. That was Clifford. Her shot goes wide. Off the boards. It's Bullock. Keeping it down cleanly across. That'll end that interference call as the Bears now, I believe that makes them 0 for 3 here on the power play. However, they have really come back here in a hurry and tied this game back up 2-2 with 6 minutes and change remaining in the third.
Good numbers there by the Bengals in the slot area to clean up the rebounds there, or the loose puck, I should say. This could be an icing call, but it's going to be waved off because Paradis was going to be the first to it.
Really going stride for stride there and then breaking away from the pack like a workhorse did Paradis to make sure that that wasn't going to be an icing. As now, the Bengals really can't even get on track here in the defensive zone. That shot hit a skate. Lease recovers, gets it out in front. That one goes into the breadbasket of Knott, and she will cover it for a face-off.
Yeah, nice look there by Lease, number 7, coming around, finding Bullock just about the face-off dot, got the pass on to her stick, really forcing a good save by Knott on that one-timer.
Once again, SUNY Potsdam wins the draw. However, the Bengals quickly bring it out into center ice. Now that's chipped away from Edwards. Here's a slap shot at the last second again. Prue just letting that stick lay out there, and she's able to get a piece of that shot that was intended by Radecki.
Now Bears able to clear the zone here against an opportunity, but a good play by Prue again.
Meanwhile, Lease keeps going. She's knocked down to the ice hard by Sage Running Rabbit. It is Bears another penalty against Buffalo State.
Well, the Bears are getting their looks here in the latter part of this third period. Game tied at 2. Power play for the Bears with 5:14 to go in this third period. Game has really clicked up a couple of notches in the energy. Better the play there in the second period for sure by Buff State, but the Bears have really come back, have been energized by those 2 quick goals.
So Sage Running Rabbit is going to get 2 minutes in the sin bin for slashing. I want to mention here that she is also a graduate student for this Buffalo State team, so that's really nice to see. You don't see a whole lot of women's hockey graduates. Here's a shot towards the net, and that barely goes off the top of the trapper of Knott.
Yeah, that was number 17, Whiteside, who tried to go short side high.
And then Peru lets one go towards the net, and it went off the hip of Daphne Gray, who's still feeling that one. Kane off the boards, plenty of time and space here to maneuver and survey the landscape. She'll let it go towards the net, a nice shot, but however, it is taken in by Knott.
Well, Whiteside, we got a pregame feel for the coaching staff on how they really think, what they think of her, the freshman from Long Sault, Ontario. Very much involved in that power play. She possessed the puck, had a couple of good looks at passes, but nice thoughts by that freshman.
Kept in here by Bullock as she'll pass it across and get it on a one-timer. That one towards the net would have went wide of the right side post. However, again, Amelia Knott's going to take no chances on that one.
Yeah, not a bad decision by her to shut that down. Sensing the energy by the Bears, we're going to try to regroup on the face-off, but not let that loose puck be gathered in by the Bears for an offensive opportunity.
Another offensive win here by the Bears, as that's going to be Coralie Paradis, who has the second goal here for the Bears to tie this up. Looking for the lead here for the first time in the game, SUNY Potsdam. It's Bullock. Shot deflected in front of the net, and then it's going to be covered up, and at the last second behind the play, a big body put on by Gold as she knocked down Paradis.
Well, good look there by Jessica Bullock. Not only was that a good shot towards the goal, she did a terrific job by avoiding the forechecker to not have that blocked. So she good thoughtfulness, good eyes to see that shot was going to be towards the goal. If it had to be wide, it was going to be wide, but it wasn't going to be blocked.
And there were 2 Bears players in the vicinity of the crease waiting for that one after the initial shot, as Kane will pass this one along and receive it back with 34 seconds remaining on the power play. Shot towards the net, goes off a body, rebound, lofts over the top of the crossbar behind the net.
I think that was Whiteside that had a look at it.
Bears still have possession of it. It's a drop pass, Prue shot, easy little wrist shot, goes right into the waiting glove of Knott.
Good zone time, led by puck recovery. The shots are coming. They're not wasting their time by not getting some shots, but when they do shoot and it's not held on to by the goaltender, the Bears have been able to recover it and keep the play going.
Still 15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Running Rabbit. And finally, Buffalo State is able to clear it all the way down the ice here, right to left, to end this power play chance. However, here come the Bears possibly on a 3-on-2. Now it's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Marindula across for Kane. A little too far ahead, and it was deflected.
And it was the rolling puck, I think, on the pass. Marindula could not get it to lay down, so the puck didn't allow her to really get that pass where she wanted it.
Mills is going to pick up this one, and that will go around the boards. Picked up that time by Tegan Konishnik, who had the first one here for the Bears. That one goes over the head of the linesman. Chasing it down first was Visco. On the opposite side wall. That was intended for Mills. A chip pass goes too far, and that will be an icing this time on SUNY Potsdam.
2:26 to go in the third period here. Both coaches holding on to their timeouts here, so we'll be interested to see how that unfolds as we'll string some time along here. But so far, we haven't seen a timeout called.
Whistle blown there. Looks like a false start against the Bengals. As being kicked out there is Sage Running Rabbit. And, apparently not. So, okay. She'll come back in here for the draw and wins it back. Across the blue line. That one goes off the body of Mills. Way to put herself in harm's way to sacrifice the body. Less than 2 minutes remaining here in the third period. 2-2, Bears and Bengals. Backhander wide open. Oh, fanning on the shot there was Radicki, and then she got the shot off. Perron kicks it away with the skates.
Pressure here by the Bengals.
Finally, it's taken away here by Purdy in her own zone, and she was able to get it out so her team can change up here at the blue line. Bullock with a stone wall. However, the puck bounced up right to Running Rabbit. Another shot, and Perron able to make the save on the ground.
Nice angle. She was in the position to make the save and made it. She's technically very, very sound. She's as technically sound a goaltender as I've seen here. She plays it very well. Her angles are proper, and she's a very good skater as well.
Senior goalie here for the Bears, one of the two captains who was made by the team selection, as coming out of her own zone is Gamberg. Stick handles a few times, leaves it for Paradis, who has a chance to get it across to the opposite side. Here's a shot towards the net, and that one again is going to be scooped up off the ice by Knott.
Shot was there, and she held on to it. Again, 1:22 to go. Seeing both coaches making sure that they get the players they want on the ice. Alicia Marandola, the leading scorer for the Bears, would be out there right now on that face-off win.
She'll let that go. Kane trying to test her luck. However, she cannot get away from her defender. And now the Bengals able to come out of their own zone. To center ice. Backhanded in here by Carlson. Not too far into the Bears' defensive territory, as we have 1 minute remaining here in the third period. Prue will dump this one along and change up here as Whiteside and Edwards come back out loose. Puck, they score! It's Visco! It's Castro!
She did not have possession of the puck, and so staying on it was Visco. The goaltender is really saying, I thought I had it. But the puck was never really secured. She had it briefly, albeit, but the referee did not see it and did not blow the whistle.
No, he let it go.
And the puck was lying there without the whistle being blown, so it's a free puck. There's no doubt about it. Now, you can question whether he should have blown the whistle or not, but it isn't going to be. It's not going to change the call.
And that's what head coach Rachel Gramp for the Bengals is trying to talk to head official Camp about, but the puck is dropped. The Bears are up 3-2 with 43 seconds remaining in the third period, and it will go actually to number 23, Jalen Castro, the junior here for the Bears, to give them a late lead.
She's been in and around it all night long.
Yes, she has. It was about time that she was able to bury one, and she did at a time. And we will have a face-off here, as there was a big rugby scrum on the half wall. And now you got to wonder if Coach Gramp will take that timeout. You mentioned both teams have one in their back pocket here.
Well, I'm sure she has the players on the ice she wants, so she won't waste it there. But she wants to get down into the offensive zone before a timeout is taken, as long as she had the right players on the ice.
Well, there's going to be 15 seconds remaining, as now the Bengals have to motor it down the ice here, right to left. With it, it's going to be taken away by Edwards, comes back in over the blue line, so they'll have a shot here with about 3 seconds remaining. Deking is Masterson towards the net, tipped aside, and that will do it. It's a miracle at Maxey. The Bears win 3-2.
Well, that was a great comeback by the Bears, being down 2-0, scoring 3 unanswered. But that was close at the just before the whistle. There was a free Bengals stick as that puck came across the goal area, and it just went wide, as the Bears will get this well-deserved third period win, I will say.
And well, now, as we mentioned it before, not only with their game play styles, but now with their records, both sitting at 3-2.
Well, I'll tell you, you got to be proud of this team and Coach Cook and her staff just really doing just a great job of keeping them, making the adjustment in the locker room between the second and third period. You could see that they were more energized. She was not happy, I'm sure, with the defensive coverage at the end of the second period. But also, the penalties that were taken, the fact that they shot the puck more often and created an opportunity to sustain play inside their offensive zone, get continual opportunities, created goal-scoring opportunities, and it's just a good credit to the coaching staff here of the Bears by making in-game adjustments.
Felt like the ice was tilting a little bit towards the Bears there, obviously, but then in the last 2 minutes, it was really anybody's game, even though it was tied at 2. Once again, just... it seems like any game that we have here now at Maxey Hall in women's hockey, there's some sort of controversial play that results in that go-ahead goal. But now, again, it was apparently, according to the official, it was loose down there. There was a stick lift by Castro, and she was able to put it in the empty net while Knott wasn't paying attention.
Well, I'll tell you, as we look at the score across town, across the 10 miles, you can see that the Bears men's team is within minutes of, I'm sure that was probably open net there.
Yes, I believe it was an empty net goal there. It's 7-3 with about a minute left in the third period, so a good evening all around for hockey here at Sidney Potsdam.
Well, the Bears, the women's team here, 3 goals in that third period, 3 unanswered to come back and secure this first league win for them. Just tickled, not only by the fact that they were able to secure the win, but they were also the fact that they had as much belief and character in their ability to come back. They never gave up. They were down by 2. They stayed with it and really forced the issue here in that, especially the second half of the third period.
And especially, as you said, they really did rattle the Bengals after that second goal. They take that penalty. Granted, they didn't score on that power play possession. However, you could really see that they were putting the Bengals really on their back heels, and that was something that we hadn't seen up until midway through the third period.
Well, and certainly the better of the play in the second period went with the Bengals.
Yes.
And there's no doubt that they, that shorthanded goal and they were able to really get things moving in their direction. I thought the Bears were shaken, but again, credit to the coaching staff there and really getting things straightened around, stabilized, and they came out and really stayed with the program and really did a good job, obviously, by securing this win. But the statistics of the game here had the goal scoring get started at 18:58 of the first period, where Taylor Masterson would pick up her second of the year, Sage Running Rabbit would pick up an assist, and Sydney Radecki as well. But then it would be a shorthanded goal by Vanessa Willick. Sequoia Nebenequit would pick up her second assist of the year, and then it would be the Bears that would get it. And the Bears would score. Who would get that goal? That even strength goal?
It would be Tegan Konishnik, one of your favorites.
That's
here.
right, and she would get that goal unassisted. The Bears would come back just about, what is that going to be, about 23 seconds.
Not even.
23 seconds later, Coraline Paradis would pick up the assist with Jane Gamberg and Mara Edwards picking up the assist. But the winning goal, unassisted, would come from Jalen Castro, and that came at 19:13 of the third period. Shots on goal in the third period, here we go, 15-9 in favor of the Bears, and it would end up being tied at 28-28.
Always.
Shots on goal, but again, all credit due, in my opinion, to the coaching staff that made the necessary adjustments between the second and the third period.
Also say that the Bears staying out of penalty trouble in that second and third period. All their penalties were in the first, and then all of a sudden the Bengals have penalties in the second and third. They had 2 in the second, and they also had 6 total in that third period. So again, you give up that many opportunities to the Bears, eventually it's going to bite you.
Yeah, and it did, and it certainly fatigued the players. They were, you know, a lot of your better players are going to be your penalty killers as well. So that really, I thought, was going to be the turning point. But we're going to see William Smith here tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock, as the new member of the Soniac League will be coming into Maxey Hall off of their trip up to Plattsburgh. I think they were down 3-0 as they started the third period.
They were, yes, they were. So we'll have to check in on that here tomorrow afternoon, as SUNY Potsdam will be looking to go for 3 wins in a row here for the women's team early in the campaign. Like I said, both teams now sitting at 3-2 after this evening. And that'll wrap things up here for this game this evening. A wonderful thank you to the volunteers and staff, as always, here at SUNY Potsdam. They do a fantastic job. And also, as always, a huge thank you to all of you watching and listening across the sound waves. None of this would be possible without your support. Once again, your final in women's ice hockey from Maxey Hall this evening, it was the SUNY Potsdam Bears 3 and the Buffalo State Bengals 2. One more time for Todd Truax engineering this broadcast on the Mix 96.1 FM side, and for my partner alongside me, former Potsdam Bears coach John Horn. I'm Taylor Salisbury, wishing you a great and safe evening from all of us here at Mix 96.1 FM and PotsdamBears.com. And until tomorrow, have a great evening from a Stevens Communications station.
Would you like a ride back?